Have you ever noticed that your glasses keep getting stronger, but your vision just keeps getting worse? You're not alone. For many adults over 60, the slow, quiet fading of vision doesn't feel like a crisis until it island. It doesn't happen overnight. One day, you struggle to read fine print. Then, it's harder to drive at night. Soon, bright lights cause halos, and the faces of your loved ones begin to blur. This creeping fog, whether it's cataracts, macular degeneration, or rising eye pressure, is what I call the silent thief of sight. And the worst part? It often starts decades before you even realize it. I've met hundreds of patients who thought, well, I just need stronger glasses. But glasses don't fix a damaged retina. They don't clear a clouded lens, and they certainly don't reverse the pressure building up in your eye. Let me say this clearly. Most vision loss after 60 isn't just aging, it's inflammation, it's oxidation, it's nutritional starvation of your eye cells. And what makes it so dangerous is that it doesn't hurt. There's no sharp pain, no warning bell, just a gradual dimming of the world. By the time you notice something's wrong, the damage may already be underway. But here's the truth no one tells you. You can fight back. You can protect your vision. And you can do it naturally, starting with what's already in your kitchen, or more specifically, your seafood aisle. That's right. There are natural compounds found in certain seafoods, compounds your eyes desperately need to stay sharp, clear, and strong. I'm talking about nutrients that don't just support vision. They restore it. They protect the fragile structure of your retina. They calm the inflammation in your optic nerve. And they slow the silent damage inside your eye that leads to blindness. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 3 powerful seafoods backed by science, trusted by experience, that can help you reverse early-stage macular degeneration, defend against cataracts, and lower the eye pressure that leads to glaucoma. This isn't about popping pills or spending thousands on high-tech treatments. This is about nourishment, restoration, and giving your eyes the tools they need to heal. So, if you or someone you love is over 60 and you're worried about your eyesight slipping away, stay with me. Because what I'm about to share could be the beginning of a brighter, clearer future. When I ask my patients what they're doing to protect their eyesight, most of them mention vitamins, eye drops, or their prescription glasses. Very few mention food, and even fewer mention salmon. But if you've been ignoring salmon, you may be missing out on one of the most powerful natural protectors your eyes will ever find. You see, salmon isn't just a delicious fish, it's a vision-saving powerhouse. It's packed with 2 special types of omega-3 fatty acids, DHA and EPA. Now those might sound like complicated scientific terms, but let me simplify it for you. DHA is a structural fat that actually makes up the walls of your retina. Without enough of it, the cells in your retina become weak, inflamed, and start to degenerate. EPA, on the other hand, helps your eyes stay properly nourished and oxygenated. It improves circulation to the delicate nerves in your eyes and helps calm the silent inflammation that builds up as we age. In fact, research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that seniors who consume omega-3 seconds regularly have a significantly lower risk of developing age-related macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of blindness in people over 60. But that's not all. Salmon is also rich in vitamin D and vitamin B12, both essential for healthy optic nerve function. Vitamin D acts like a shield, reducing chronic inflammation in the back of the eye, while B12 supports the communication signals between your eyes and your brain. I once had a patient, her name was Margaret, 72 years old. She came to me after noticing that the center of her vision was becoming blurry. Her doctor said it was early-stage macular degeneration. We didn't jump to injections or lasers. Instead, we rebuilt her diet, focusing on anti-inflammatory whole foods, and salmon was at the top of that list. She began eating wild-caught salmon, twice a week grilled, sometimes baked, with a drizzle of olive oil and lemon. Within 4 months, not only had her vision stopped getting worse, she reported brighter colors, better contrast at night, and even her eye pressure had improved. Now, of course, Salmon isn't magic, but when used consistently, as part of a broader lifestyle shift, it's powerful. You might be wondering, how much salmon should I eat? The sweet spot is about 2 to 3 servings per week, cooked, gently grilled, baked, or steamed to preserve its precious oils. And always choose wild-caught when possible. It's higher in omega-3 seconds and lower in potential toxins like mercury. You can find quality salmon at stores like Costco, Walmart, and Whole Foods. Even canned wild salmon is a great backup if fresh isn't an option. I know that at first, changing your diet can feel overwhelming. But I want you to think of each piece of salmon not just as food, but as fuel for your vision. Every bite is sending strength to your retina. Every omega-3 molecule is pushing back against blindness. Every serving is saying, "Not today, macular degeneration." And that, my friend, is how healing begins, one conscious, delicious choice at a time. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed your night vision getting worse lately? Maybe the road signs seem blurrier at dusk. The glare from oncoming headlights feels harsher. Or perhaps you've started avoiding driving at night altogether. That, my friend, is one of the earliest and most overlooked signs that your eyes are starving for a mineral called zinc. And when it comes to zinc, there's no better natural source on this planet than oysters. Yes, those slippery little shellfish are absolute giants when it comes to protecting your vision. Here's why. Zinc plays a critical role in transporting vitamin A from your liver to your retina. Vitamin A is the nutrient that helps you see in low light. But without zinc, it's like trying to send a letter without an envelope, it just won't get there. So if you're low on zinc, your retina struggles to receive enough vitamin A, and your night vision begins to fade. Oysters are the most concentrated source of dietary zinc in the natural world. In just a few pieces, you can get several times the amount your eyes need to function optimally. But oysters don't stop at zinc. They're also rich in selenium, a powerful antioxidant that helps fight the oxidative stress inside the eye, particularly in the vitreous humor, that jelly-like substance in the center of your eyeball. Too much oxidation in that area is one of the key factors behind cataract formation and cloudy vision. And then there's choline and taurine, two unsung heroes that support the health of your optic nerve and help regulate pressure inside the eyeball, reducing your risk of glaucoma. I remember a gentleman named Thomas. He was 68 and had just retired. He loved photography, especially night landscapes. But his vision had started to fade in the evenings, and he was deeply frustrated. We added oysters to his diet twice a week, fresh if possible, or steamed from his local seafood market. 3 months later, he told me something that stuck with me. "Doc," he said, "I feel like the night came back to life. I can see the stars again." It wasn't a miracle. It was minerals restoring what age had quietly taken away. Now, a quick word of caution. If you're eating oysters, make sure they're fully cooked, especially if you're over 60 or have a weaker immune system. Steamed, baked, or grilled is perfect. Avoid raw oysters unless you're absolutely sure they're safe and fresh. And always get them from reliable sources: Whole Foods, local fish markets, or large grocery stores with a trusted seafood counter. If oysters aren't your thing, that's okay. But if you can include them even just once a week, your eyes will thank you. Because when your cells are nourished with the minerals they were designed to receive, amazing things begin to happen. Clarity returns, colors feel richer, the world at night becomes visible again. And that, to me, is the quiet beauty of healing. There's a bright red pigment found in shrimp that might just be the most powerful eye-protecting antioxidant you've never heard of. It's called Astaxanthin, and I like to think of it as your retina's personal bodyguard. You see, Astaxanthin isn't just what gives shrimp and salmon their reddish-pink color. It's a compound with extraordinary strength, especially when it comes to fighting the effects of aging inside the eye. Let me explain. As we age, the tissues in our eyes are constantly bombarded by light, especially blue light from phones, TVs, tablets, and LED lamps. This exposure creates something called oxidative stress, which slowly damages the cells of the retina and the macula, the center of your vision. Over time, this can lead to blurred vision, trouble with contrast, and in severe cases, age-related macular degeneration. But here's where astaxanthin comes in. Unlike other antioxidants, astaxanthin has a unique ability to cross the blood-retinal barrier. That means it can actually enter the tissues of your eye and go to work, neutralizing free radicals, reducing inflammation, and protecting the delicate capillaries that feed your retina. A study published in the journal Ophthalmology showed that astaxanthin supplementation led to measurable improvements in visual acuity and focus, especially in aging adults. And shrimp, particularly wild-caught or sustainably farmed varieties, are among the richest, most delicious sources of this compound. But astaxanthin doesn't work alone. Shrimp also contain vitamin B12, copper, and selenium, a trio of nutrients that strengthen your optic nerve and help regenerate damaged eye tissue. I once worked with a woman named Clara. She was 74 and had been experiencing frequent eye fatigue. Reading books had become a chore, and after just 20 minutes on her tablet, her eyes would burn and water. We started small. Clara began adding shrimp to her weekly meals, usually once or twice a week, sautéed lightly with garlic and olive oil, or tossed into a hearty salad. After 6 weeks, she told me something I'll never forget. "Dr. Porter," she said, "I didn't realize how tired my eyes had been until they stopped feeling tired." It wasn't just her imagination. Her follow-up exam showed reduced signs of inflammation and even a slight improvement in retinal sensitivity. Now, if you're thinking, but aren't shrimp high in cholesterol? Let me clarify. Shrimp do contain cholesterol, but research now shows that for most people, dietary cholesterol doesn't significantly impact blood cholesterol levels. In fact, shrimp are low in saturated fat and high in protein, making them an excellent addition to a senior's diet, especially when cooked healthfully. And if you're buying shrimp, look for wild-caught or responsibly farmed sources. Avoid heavily breaded or fried shrimp, as those can cancel out the benefits with unhealthy oils and sodium. Just a couple servings a week can make a difference, not just in how your eyes feel, but in how the world looks to you. Because clearer vision isn't just about the ability to see. It's about the ability to stay connected to your books, your loved ones, your independence. And if one of nature's smallest creatures can help give you that back, then I say, bring on the shrimp. You know what breaks my heart? It's not just the patients who come to me with vision loss. It's how many of them say the same exact words. Why didn't anyone tell me this sooner? Most seniors aren't lacking effort. They're not lazy or careless. They're simply not getting the right information at the right time. They're told to get stronger glasses, to take another eye drop, or to just accept that blurry vision is part of growing old. But let me be clear. Vision loss is not inevitable. Blindness is not a normal part of aging. What is often ignored, sometimes even by professionals, is that your eyes are living tissue. They respond to nourishment, just like your heart, your bones, your brain. And yet, we don't talk about feeding our eyes. We talk about patching them. We don't prevent, we react. And I get it. Life after 60 can already feel overwhelming. Doctor visits, medications, aches and pains. The idea of adding something new, even something as simple as a piece of salmon or a serving of shrimp, can feel like just another task. But what if I told you that your comeback doesn't start with a prescription? It starts with a plate? When you choose foods that are rich in omega-3 seconds, zinc, selenium, and astaxanthin, you're not just preventing disease. You're giving your eyes the building blocks they need to repair, regenerate, and thrive. And the truth is, it's not as hard as you might think. Start simple. Instead of just focusing on what to cut out of your diet, focus on what to add in. A grilled piece of wild-caught salmon on Tuesday. A bowl of sautéed shrimp on Friday. A few oysters shared with friends on the weekend. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle. You just need to make consistent, caring choices one meal at a time. I once had a couple in their early 70s, John and Carol. John had been diagnosed with early-stage glaucoma, and Carol was beginning to see signs of cataracts. They decided to make a small promise to each other. 3 seafood-based meals a week. Nothing fancy, just real food, cooked at home, enjoyed together. 6 months later, John's eye pressure had stabilized. Carol's vision had actually improved. But more than that, they both felt empowered again. And that's what this is really about. Not just vision, not just health, but hope. Hope that you still have a say in how you age. Hope that your best years are not behind you. Hope that you can still see your grandchildren's faces clearly, still read your favorite books, still watch the sunset, and actually see it. You don't need perfect vision to live a beautiful life. But you do deserve every chance to preserve the vision you have. And the time to start is now. If you've made it this far, I want you to know something. You've already taken the most important step you care. And that means you're not helpless. You're not too late. In fact, this could be the turning point. Now, let's make it practical. Because I know what you're probably thinking right now. Dr. Porter, I believe you. But how do I actually start? So here's your simple eye-protecting seafood plan, designed for real people, with real lives, and real grocery lists. We're not going for perfection. We're going for consistency. In week 1, start with just one seafood meal. That's it. Choose either salmon, oysters, or shrimp, whichever is easiest to find and prepare. Maybe it's a can of wild salmon mixed into a salad. Maybe it's a few sautéed shrimp tossed into a pasta dish, or a baked oyster appetizer shared with a friend. The goal isn't to impress anyone. The goal is to nourish your eyes. In week 2, bump it up to 2 seafood meals, and if you enjoy it, keep going. By week 3 or 4, try to settle into a rhythm. 2 to 3 servings of vision-saving seafood per week. And here's something important: how you cook matters. Avoid deep frying. Instead, bake, steam, sauté, or grill using heart-healthy oils like olive oil or avocado oil. These methods preserve the powerful nutrients without adding inflammation-causing fats. If fresh seafood isn't always available, frozen or canned can be great alternatives. Canned wild salmon? Fantastic. Frozen shrimp from a trusted brand? No problem. Even shelf-stable oysters packed in olive oil can do wonders. And don't forget the simple touches. A squeeze of lemon adds vitamin C. A handful of spinach on the side brings in lutein. A sprinkle of black pepper helps absorption. Little things add up. Now, if you take medication or have specific health conditions, always talk to your doctor before making dietary changes, especially if you're managing blood pressure or cholesterol. But for most healthy older adults, seafood is not just safe, it's essential. I often tell my patients to treat these meals like a gift to themselves. Not a burden, not a chore. A gift. Because when you sit down to a plate of salmon or shrimp, you're not just feeding your body. You're telling your eyes, I've got your back. You're choosing clarity over decline. Connection over confusion. Prevention over regret. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to begin. So let's begin this week. One meal, one step, one brighter future. If you're still with me, let me say this from the heart. You didn't stumble onto this video by accident. You're here because something deep inside you knows your vision is worth fighting for. And not just your physical vision, but the vision of the life you want to keep living. The vision of reading to your grandchildren, of watching a movie without squinting, of looking in the mirror and seeing the clarity in your own eyes. I've spent over 30 years working with older adults, and one thing I know for certain is this: it's never too late to turn things around. Our bodies are incredibly resilient. Even at 60, 70, 80 years old, healing is still possible. Maybe not perfect, but meaningful, real, life-changing. What matters most is that you believe in your own ability to take small, intentional steps, because those steps, when taken with care, build momentum. And momentum brings change. If all you do after watching this is add a little more salmon to your plate, or give oysters a second chance, or try shrimp in a new way, that's a beautiful beginning. Because that one choice says, I still matter. My health still matters. My eyes, my independence, my joy, they are worth protecting. And they are. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What seafood are you going to try this week? What part of your vision do you want to protect most? Leave a comment below, not just for me, but for the others watching. Your words might be the very thing that gives someone else the courage to start. And if this video brought you even a little hope, please consider liking it or sharing it with someone you care about. A sibling, a neighbor, a friend who says, I just can't see like I used to. You never know. One small act of kindness could help someone see again, literally and figuratively. Thank you for trusting me today. Until next time, keep seeing the beauty in your life and never stop believing in your ability to heal.